New Zealand. Everyone knows that New Zealand in the summer is the best. There's no better place in the world. But there are some things that unless you were here right now and you knew exactly what was going on, you would never expect from a Kiwi summer. Again, this isn't a common thing. Skinny dipping. Couldn't believe it, could we, Brian?
No, not really. Not only that, it was 10 o'clock in the morning.
10
it was
o'clock
like,
in the
come
morning?
on, it's not even night time.
10 o'clock in the morning, there we were, walking down the beach.
Throw me stick out.
In this week's episode, we're going to share with you what it really means to experience summer down under and share a few secrets that you might not know about. And welcome to the podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And we are welcoming you back this year with a beautiful, wonderful hot day and celebrating how the Kiwis celebrate summer.
Yep.
Celebrate twice there, Brian.
That's a big celebration twice, and that's the third time.
We just thought it would be really nice to talk to you about the certain things in New Zealand that Kiwis do at summertime. I don't know, I think they just save it all up for when the sun comes out and then they do it all at once. And some of them are quite bizarre, aren't they, Brian?
Well, yeah, they are really, and they're quite unique to New Zealand.
Yeah.
You know, we're not Australia, we're not America.
No,
New Zealand.
No. Yeah. If you are new to the channel, we're Liz and Brian, husband and wife. We moved to New Zealand in 2009 from the UK, and we now live here and make YouTube videos all about moving to and living in New Zealand. We do other stuff as well, like talk about travel and things like that. But right now, we just want to talk to you about the Kiwi summer.
Yep.
So let's jump on in. And with number one, we've got 5 things, mind, 5 things. Number one thing that you just know it's a Kiwi summer. Kiwi camping.
Yeah.
Kiwi camping.
There's nothing, I've never seen anything
No.
quite like it.
No.
You know, they take the kitchen sink with them even.
Yeah.
And they do, don't they?
Yeah.
We were down Lake Rotakere the other day, and they had like a portable kitchen they'd taken.
Oh, Bri, they don't just take, they take...
But it was like a caravan.
Yeah.
But it was just a kitchen. It was like a catering kitchen, you know, like a full blown...
You were looking at that. I could see
was
you,
like,
your neck was craned
it's like a
off.
pop-up kitchen. It was just
I know.
like, hello?
And not only that, I know I shouldn't say this, being negative to start off, but I'm not going to say, I think you were a little bit jealous, Bri, because your neck was like this, and you're like, oh, that's just stupid bringing that much stuff with you.
I had kitchen envy.
You did.
Not just a
You
600ml hob, you know.
I tell you what, though, you know when you go camping, and it used to be, didn't it? Like, you just put the tent in and, like, you know, just, you were lucky if you were allowed to take your favourite pillow. Like, can I take my pillow? Like, no, you just roll up your T-shirt or something.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like the Kiwis, the way they camp.
I know. They literally take everything. I know when we were kids, we went camping in Wales. It just rained every day. But we had proper full-blown eiderdowns sewn up to be sleeping bags.
It's got to the point now, because we live in Owakura and there's a beautiful campsite here right on the beach. So every night when we finish work and stuff, we make a little drink, a little aperitif, we call it aperitif, a little whiskey and water, and we take it down there and... what? Yeah, like a huge jug. Yeah. And we take it down there, and our favourite thing to do is just walk through the campsite and look at everyone else's tents and their caravan setups. And I'm not being funny. I reckon there's a bit of envy going on down there, Brian.
There is. There's tent envy everywhere.
There is. Yeah. There is, because...
Yeah. Who's got the biggest?
I know. Because there was these 2 people camped next to each other, and I'm not joking, this one couple, well, it was a family, they had like one of those massive larders. They had the fridge freezer, the larder, the barbecue, like a little gas thing. It was like a full-blown kitchen all outside. It was really nice, actually, because they had all the fairy lights and everything.
It's lovely because they've all got those big, what they call them, like...
Gazebo?
No, they're not gazebos, are they? They're like a hub that you can almost plug tents into, like, you know?
Right.
They all used to be Kathmandu, and now they're Torpedo 7 and all sorts of things, aren't they? But they're pretty cool. It's just like, but it's just, I don't know.
But we just thought, we were thinking, like, you know, do you reckon their houses, like, if you're a Kiwi camper and you're one of these people that go down there with all your couches and your dishwashers and all your brilliant stuff, is your house like that? Because that's what we're thinking, isn't it?
I know, because I look at it sometimes, they keep it so tidy. And you know they've had a few drinks and things like that, you know, which normally you'd be, the people out of camping, like, you know, because there's just boxes of beer.
Oh, yeah.
And the big cool boxes and all sorts, just full of beer and
so
wine and God knows what. And you just think, you know, you're having a drink. And you know it's like when you've had a drink, you don't want to do the dishes, do you?
No, we make the kids do that.
It's not a thing out of place.
No.
You know?
So we've got a funny...
Until you get to the young guns down the road, and then it's just a mess.
We've
That's like
got a
their
funny
bedroom.
story to tell you in a bit about a flipping guy that was camping with his grandson. We'll tell you about that in a minute. But yeah, so that's number one about Kiwi summer is just even if you're not a camper, please, when you see a campsite in New Zealand, when you're here for the summer, just wander down and just have a look and you'll just think of us, honestly.
No, but that's the thing, isn't it? You just got to walk through the campsite. You know, they let you
Yeah.
walk through because it's a council campsite by New Plymouth District Council.
Yeah.
I'll go into that. But yeah, you can just walk through and it's just great.
Yeah. The only thing that puts me off camping, I'll be honest about, well, apart from everyone else being around me, which would be good in one way,
Yeah.
like when you've had a drink, you can all just have a good look and, you know.
Very sociable, yeah.
Well, no, I don't mean that. I mean, you
right.
can just sit on your own in your little space and just spy on people.
Stay away from me. Yeah.
I talk about people. But, I'm just joking. But the other thing is you can't light a fire, Bri.
No, you
know?
can't. I mean, you can kind of get away that you've got your barbecue. If you've got like a Weber barbecue or something, that's a charcoal one. You can maybe get away with that and put a few bits of wood in it afterwards, you know, but really someone's going to say what you're doing.
Again, going to talk to you in a minute. Got a story about that, about lighting a fire. Going to talk to you about that in a minute. But for now, let's just move on to number two of things in the Kiwi summer. So we decided that celebrating long evenings is just so gorgeously
I know.
Kiwi summer. It's just...
It is. It's almost like
You long for it, don't
yeah,
you?
it's like identical sort of as being in, you know, France or Portugal or something like that, where, you know, it's not quite the same as the UK or Northern America, where it's like it stays like till 10. It's about what, 9:30?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's only about half an hour or so difference to an hour to what it is in the UK and stuff. But I just love those evenings where, you know, you finish doing a bit of work or whatever it is, and it's only sort of...
Get your whiskey.
Yeah, 6 o'clock.
Spy on the tenters.
Yeah, you've still got 3 hours of sunlight left, haven't you? You know?
3 hours of good nosying.
Yeah, of just having a good nosy what people are doing. Yeah. What to
Then
buy.
coming back and telling everyone on YouTube. No, but we were talking about this and we just said the difference between New Zealand, long evenings here, and the difference between long evenings summer in the UK, this is our personal experience, remember, because we're British, is I think the Kiwis tend to like, they make all their activities last right up until that sun goes down,
Yeah, they
don't
do.
they?
Yeah.
Whereas back in England, it's like, you know, 5 o'clock comes and it's just like everyone, you know, you sort of like have a little bit of a barbecue or maybe something in the garden. But
Yeah.
like here, they're doing stuff right up until the last bit of light.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe that's why it feels like the evenings are longer and fuller. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's one of them things like that, you know, you can be on the beach at night and stuff like that, and it's not a problem. No one's going to phone up the police and say, oh, someone's lighting a fire down there and stuff like that, are they? Like, you know?
Yeah,
and
they would.
Yeah, but maybe they would.
On
but
some places, you're not allowed to light a fire.
It's like the surfers will either wait till it's like almost just pitch black before they come in, so they can't see any more waves, and then they're paddling in, aren't they? They just get every little ounce of what they
Oh,
can.
isn't it the best?
It
Isn't
is.
it just
Yeah.
the best? I mean, look at it. It's just...
Just
it's just divine.
It's just gorgeous because it's 25 degrees. It's not too hot, but it's warm. It's just perfect.
And we
isn't it,
should have
you know?
told you as well, I forgot to say in the intro, so excited to tell you about the Kiwi summer, but I forgot to tell you that we're sitting in Taranaki, which is on the west coast of the North Island of New Zealand.
Yeah,
So,
the West Cape.
yeah, sunniest place in New Zealand, I'll have you know, isn't it, Brian?
It did. It was
Yes,
last year.
always, no
voted-
question.
and it was to do with whatever it's called, the weather agency. Yes, they officially said yes.
So we wanted to give you a couple of examples of the long evenings, you know, just like the kind of things that we have been doing, just to share with you really of what the long Kiwi evenings have been like. So our anniversary, our wedding anniversary, is on January the 8th. We got married in England in a very, very small wintry day church, you know, and this beautiful snow coming down and everything. And we had a winter wedding. And every year, obviously, we celebrated our anniversary in the cold.
Yeah, the bleak midwinter.
Yeah, and since it was bloody bleak, wasn't it, Brian?
It was bleak.
January the 8th is a bleak day.
Bleak for me. Yeah, costly day that.
Shut up. Anyway, so yeah, since coming to New Zealand, obviously, our anniversary is in midsummer. And this year, and I don't know why we haven't been doing this every year, because when we did it just a couple of weeks ago, we were like, why do we not do this all the time? So here's what we did, right? Bri bought me for my anniversary. He went down to the little European shop in town,
deli.
the deli,
Yeah.
And you bought all like salami,
Yeah, saucisson,
olives,
yeah,
stuffed vine leaves, Greek stuffed vine leaves.
nice piece of parmesan.
A
Yeah.
beautiful bottle of Central Otago wine, fizzy wine.
Yes, and we bought a nice bottle of Rioja as well.
Yeah. We didn't drink both bottles though. We drank the.
No, we didn't. No, we drank the Crystal Reef.
Anyway, so we've got this gorgeous picnic, right? We take our chairs. Tessa's gone back down to Wellington. Sonny was working, and we took our chairs, our camping chairs, like they're really comfy and really nice ones with the footstools and everything, really, really comfy. And we went down to a beach called Fort St George, which is just down the coast from where we live.
Yep.
We set up on a little bit of a sand dune, and this beach is just really long and rugged and wild. And we bought our little table, our little camping table. We set up all our picnic and had our little champagne glasses. And I am not joking. Honestly, we were looking out to the sea. It was just glistening. The sun was just going down. There was about 3 other people on the beach. And there was that, you could see where people had lit fires. So we knew that we were going to be able to have a little fire there like later that night and stuff. And we just said to each other, oh my God, you know, you would pay like millions of dollars for that experience, wouldn't you, Brian?
Yes, you would. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It cost us nothing. It was just like, apart from the food, obviously.
Yeah, but you
it was
eat the
just
food anywhere, wherever you go, isn't it?
Oh my God, it was just divine.
You just get the beach to yourself. And literally, as soon as the sun went down, these people left as well, didn't they? Because it was just like, they weren't geared up.
Had the whole beach to ourselves.
Yeah, a whole beach
The
to
middle
ourselves.
of the summer.
Yep.
And we're like, you just keep looking at each other. You're like, this is just
You do.
so
You look around
gorgeous.
as if like, why isn't everybody else down here?
I know. And why don't we do that more often, Brian?
I know. We used to do it more when the kids were younger because we just literally used to go and do not far off a hungy, wasn't it? Like, we'd go and cut food down on the beach and stuff like that, or cook it in the oven, take it down with us, and light a big fire, and then you'd have all the family and cousins and stuff around and everything. It was great, wasn't it?
So we said after that, then like when you have an anniversary and you do something really nice, and you're like, that's it now. From now on, we're changing. We're going to be doing this every night. We haven't been down since, but we're like, we're going to do this more often because literally it was just we were down there for about 5 hours, something like that, weren't we? We went down down about 6, didn't we?
Went down about 6, and it was about 11:30 someone actually turned up on the beach, didn't they?
Yeah, tell them your story about pulling them out.
There
Brian.
you go.
You were a hero.
Yeah, it's nothing like pulling someone out on the beach. There you go.
Brian pulled something out on his anniversary.
Out of the bag.
Oh God, we're so rubbish.
I know. Yeah,
it's awful, that.
We just had this car coming down, didn't we? And it was just like, we probably thought it was Armour Guard because they check for freedom campers to make sure that you're all fully self-contained and stuff like that. And we thought, they're coming in to check up, and then it was like, oh no, they've gone down the end of the beach and stopped. And then we're just sitting there, and then you can hear, vroom, 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 and Liz said, it sounds like the start. Kind of went, probably not.
Who cares?
It's just like, it's all right. We'll just carry on.
We're not Kiwis, we don't
look
care.
at what we're doing. And then before you know it, about 20 minutes later, they came up and said, because they could see we were packing up and heading out just before midnight. And he goes, any chance of a tow?
Yeah.
He said, I've grounded the car, And I went, yeah, sure, So I drove down to where they were. And he said, I've got a tow rope and everything. And he had like a full-blown climbing rope. And, you look at it and I looked where his car was. He'd like gone over the edge and grounded the car on the edge. And I said, yeah, all right, we'll give it a try. So I've got a tow bar. He put it around the back of that. And as soon as I started to pull away, it just snapped.
Yeah.
And he was looking at it. He was saying to his girlfriend he was just saying, it snapped. I don't believe that snapped. It's full-blown.
It's not as strong as he thought.
No, there you go, you see.
But from where our little spot was on the beach, where by the time we'd packed up our champagne glasses and our vine leaves tin and everything like that, from getting from our spot to down to where they were, we'd made this elaborate story up with each other about how they were lovers.
I know.
And they were sneaking out.
I know he's sneaking out because it was his birthday. He told me all about it. It's like, the last time I got stuck. And
we turned up and we were like, hi, just we're just so sad, honestly.
I know. You can't look at someone in the face then, can you? Like, you know, you just think, oh.
So if you're watching this and you were the people that were stuck on the beach, you know, we had it all set for you. We had this brilliant life that was all like, it's very exciting and dangerous life that you guys were leading.
Yeah, and we didn't take any pictures, so we can't say who you were, like, you know.
No.
So just in case you did have that elaborate life that
No.
we were you're sneaking off to do.
They were really grateful.
Yeah, I know they were.
Tell you what, Brian? Imagine if we hadn't have been down there, what would they have done?
Well, that's what he said. He said the last time I got stuck, I was in a.
How would he explain that to his wife?
There you go. I left the card out. Maybe it wasn't his car, and they were just thinking, how would I get home? Even?
I wonder what he would have done though.
Well, he would have had to go to the farmers, wouldn't
No, you wouldn't go to the farmer at midnight.
No, you wouldn't.
Who's going to knock a farmer up at midnight?
Well, there you go. Anyone might knock a farmer up
No,
at
so they
midnight.
would have had to be sleeping in the car, wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
that's what he said. He said the last time I got stuck, I was in it for 8 hours in a Subaru.
Oh, so he's got a
Yeah.
bit of a record then.
He's got a record of doing it, you know.
Anyway, moving on.
We got him out anyway.
Yeah.
I had a couple of heavy-duty strops in the back of the car, and we used them in the end.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Brian, if I was stuck or in any situation where I needed help, I can't think of a better person than you.
Be prepared. The last Boy Scout. That's what I am.
I can't. I'd just love it if I met you. I'd be like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
He's here, my hero.
Wait, the light jump leads just in case. You just, you know.
Right, and the other thing before we move on from this one is just wanted to share another beautiful thing that we did over the holidays, just after Christmas. So where we live like in a rural area, and it was pouring down, and it had been pouring down for like hours. And we've talked to you about this before. Local regulars of this show will know that we, especially I, love it when it rains. Just like really, really heavy downpour, because you get all those smells and just like everything's just sopping and dropping, and it's just gorgeous.
It is.
There was no wind.
Summer
it was
rain.
just pouring down. So Bryce said, "Oh, do you fancy a walk down the road?" Because long story, but he'd been down there a couple of days before and he'd seen this thing and he wanted to show it me. And he's like, "Do you want to come down the road? I've got something to show you." So I said, "Yeah, okay." So we got the umbrellas out, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we went down the road, down the lane, down a few dips and then up again. And there's all these trees, big palms hanging over and big heavy with rain. And you look in, you look in, you move a few leaves on the trees, and on this big riverbank, because there's a huge big river coming down to the right of us, it was just a mass of glowworms, I was going to say fairy light.
That's what it looks like.
Glowworms.
Yeah, I thought it was starlight at first, thinking that's a big bank there, and then you could see stars through, and think, it's raining as well, like, you know, and it's just like, wow.
And that again was one of those memories that you think, I will never forget this as long as I live.
No.
It was just like something out of a Disneyland ride, wasn't it?
It is,
Bri?
and the whole bank is, when the leaves are, you know, blowing, you can see the glowworms behind. It's pretty special, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know, and don't try and pretend you do, because I know you don't. We don't know what glowworms are.
No, I just know that they take the time to get going, like, you know.
Yeah,
as in, you know,
they get
to
time
light
to,
up.
yeah. So are they a bug? Are they? What do they do? And we also don't know. And we should have Googled this. Maybe it wouldn't have been hard.
No, it wouldn't have been.
Like, what do they do? What's their purpose?
Yeah.
Apart from looking absolutely beautiful and stunning, what is their purpose? And the other thing I don't know, and I don't know if you know this, I don't think you do.
What?
Are they anywhere else in the world?
Do you know what? I don't know.
No,
I would
don't.
imagine there are. There's glowflies, isn't there? What are glowflies?
No, there's little fireflies.
Fireflies, that's it. But yeah, glowworms.
I've never heard of them anywhere else.
No, you kind of hear of it, don't you? But
they're not in England, are they?
no, I've never seen them in
No,
England.
I've never have.
No, you can go to caves here and they're inside. You see them, but that bank down where we live, it's just, again, you'd pay a tour guide thousands of dollars to take you to these things to go and see, because, like Liz said, it's. I don't know. It's like you're going into fairyland almost, isn't it? Like, you know, it's like, you don't need any LSD to see those things.
No.
That's for sure.
And we were saying, you know, like you make these stories up again when we were just walking back and we were like, you know, because we always do this thing, me and Brian, we were like, how much would I have to pay you to like get naked, walk up to the top of the mountain and stay there all night? Like, you know, there's like, we were playing games like that. We were just saying, how much would you pay to, if someone said to you, I'll fly you over to New Zealand, I'll take you to this beautiful bit of bush, you know, on the North Island, and I'm going to show you this natural phenomena of glowworms, like, you know.
Yeah, I know.
It's just incredible, and it's right on our doorstep.
Yeah, in Middle Earth.
Yeah.
And just, if anybody does want to take Liz up the mountain, $50,000 was what she said. that she'd be naked on the mountain for the night. All right. That's what we got to.
And I'll be running up there tomorrow. Honestly, I would.
Well, there you go. So if
I'd
anyone's
carry you
got
on my back.
50,000 that wants to take this up the mountain, then where you go.
Right, number 3, thing that, and this again, this isn't a common thing. Skinny dipping.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it, could we, Brian?
No, not really. Not only that, it was, what time was it? It would have been 10 o'clock in the morning.
10
it was
o'clock
like,
in the
come
morning.
on, it's not even night time.
10 o'clock in the morning, there we were, walking down the beach.
Throw my stick out into the beach.
Yeah.
For the dog.
It wasn't 10 o'clock actually, it was 9. It was 9 o'clock. Yeah, we'd just been for a coffee.
Yeah.
We'd taken the dog down the beach, thrown her down. All of a sudden, these two very, very confident and very good looking, I might add, people, man and a woman, just start naked, just walking down the beach like this. Like, this is Orcuda Beach as well. This is not a nudist beach. And you get on my nerves when you do this, Brian.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you do, because I went to you, oh, Brian, look, and you're, what's wrong with that, Liz? It's just bodies. Like, trying to act all, like, you know.
It's only bodies.
So we did a bit of research and we were like, oh, maybe New Zealand's getting up and coming, like, you know, with the old nudie.
Yeah, because they are quite prudish, New Zealand, really.
Well, I think they are, but obviously not.
But you don't, when you like go to the south of France or you're in Greece or something like that for the summer, there's just everyone's topless, aren't they, really? And, and more as well. Mm-hmm. But in New Zealand, you don't really
bodies,
see it.
Bri.
It's only bodies. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's just bodies, isn't it? Like, you know? And it was just unusual to see.
Yeah, it was.
Especially that time of day. And it was quite busy, the beach as well.
Do you know what, though? And do you know what I like about this?
What's that?
And this is what I think, if you're going to do it right.
Yeah.
They weren't like, like this,
what you
were
looking
they?
at me for?
Yeah, they walked onto the beach, stripped off, literally threw their clothes off and then went like this. You know when like really good-looking fit people, they walk really confidently. They're like, just like let it swing like this.
Yeah.
And it's just like walking down, weren't they, Brian?
Yeah,
just
you've got to be
really
able to let it
confident.
swing. So
Yeah, you
obviously
have.
that's the thing, isn't it? Like,
You have.
It really.
And then we started getting all like, oh yeah, why are we so prudish? Let's just look up what about New Zealand if it's like nudie and stuff. And we discovered that I think it was like 2012.
I think 2014. I think
Was it?
It was. Yeah.
Gisborne.
Yeah.
Gizzy held the world record for having the biggest skinny dip ever.
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah.
They've lost it since.
Over 700, I think it was 780 or 740, 780 people or something like that, wasn't
I don't know if it's that many, but they all went in. The Gizzy lot went in naked.
How brilliant was that? That would have been amazing to...
I'd love to have seen that.
Yeah, yeah.
That would have been really good, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would have been a bit like that. The Queen, remember the Queen video for Fat Bottom Girls or Bicycle Ride Map? And they're all naked, weren't they? That was what it was. Yeah. That was you just see all these people.
But yeah, since then they've lost their title. Gizzy's lost their title.
They've lost it twice, actually.
Yeah, and now someplace in Ireland have got it. I think.
Australia took it over. Mm-hmm. Good old Aussies, and then the Irish have whipped everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not forget as well, I've just got to tell you this, that if you are moving to New Zealand or want to know anything more about New Zealand and you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide, that is there perfectly free for you to take. Me and Bri made this video about some aspect of life in New Zealand, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's only short, and when you sign up, you get them all for free for 5 days.
Yeah.
So,
and it just at the end of it, you get the option to come into our wonderful community and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And if you move to New Zealand, it really, really helps people. So many people have changed their mind from thinking about moving to New Zealand to actually taking the plunge and coming on over here, starting a new life.
Yeah.
Down under.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's all about the support and things like that. Just having people around you who are doing the same thing. So, like I say, and like Bryce said, if you are thinking of moving to New Zealand or you just want to have a nosy at the videos, that's fine too. We're happy to send them to you. You can sign up at www.nzahead.com/free. Go over there, get the videos, watch them for 5 days, and just enjoy them. Right, number 4 of things that people do in New Zealand, a typical Kiwi thing, is extreme sports like on the beach, don't they, Brian?
Yeah, and they're not just the normal sports that you'd think of, like, they're kind of like their own inventions of certain things, like, just one thing that I remember seeing last summer, it was like, there's constantly shifting sands in these areas that we go to because it's just the way it is. So if a river's coming out, sometimes it goes straight to the sea, And then before you know it, a month later, the sands have shifted and it's zigzagging across or in a straight line diagonally across the beach. And there's just this little bit of water. And there's these guys, they've got a quad bike and like a knee surfboard, a wakeboard type thing, or just a boogie board. And they've got a rope on the back of it and they're towing each other, having the best time of their life, aren't they? Like, you know, and they're rolling down and coming off the board, rolling down the sand and in the water. And it's just, the water's only about this deep, you know, but it's that type of thing that, you know, they can just go and have a good laugh and there's no one saying anything.
Jumping off really high bridges.
Yeah, big high bridges, you know. Or
all the kids like jumping off. We've talked about this before. They jump off high bridges into the river and just...
it's just great.
doing crazy things.
When we were down, like we were saying on the anniversary the other night, there was 3 quad bikes come across the beach. All farmery looking guys. They've got the red bands on, they've got beer and stuff. And they're having a good laugh and shouting everything. They're filming each other and doing all this stuff. And they're going up and down the dunes and they head up into a farm, obviously stay there for an hour or two, and then they go back to their places down the coast. And you just think, this is amazing. Like, you know, it's just real what you do in the summer. Like, you know,
I was driving down the road with Tess the other day, and because she was home from Wellington, we're driving down and we go over the bridge into Owakura, and at the side, all the kids are there just like, you know, in their togs, just getting ready to jump. And she said, beep. And I went, no, I'm not going to beep. It's going to frighten me. She goes, no, you've got to beep. She said, that's what we all wait for, is the cars to come past and beep us, like, you know. So she said that was a rite of passage kind of thing. Like growing up, like you had to do this and you had to wait for the cars to beep you. And when you heard the car beep you, you'd jump into the river. And these things are flipping high as well. They're not low.
Yeah, it's like literally, like we've said it before, it's probably a good 10 metres up, maybe more. You know, maybe more than that. Yeah.
And again, you might just be thinking, well, you know, where I live, we've got people all around the world watch this channel, and you might be thinking, oh yeah, we do that here as well in the summer. But honestly, just take it from us, the Kiwis, they just get that little bit extra.
They do.
To just make it a little bit more dangerous, you know, a little bit more risky.
Like there's 2 foot of water to jump into, and they'll jump through the gorge type thing to get to it. Like,
and do you know what? The other thing I noticed the other day when we were down on our anniversary, and those 3 guys rode past on the quad bike. Yeah, they're just like that. Hey guys,
everyone's like,
you know,
oh, lads, you know, it's just like, yeah, you're not like sitting there going, oh, what are you doing? It's just like, you're just enjoying the summer.
I hope we never become like grumpy old sods, Brian.
You can't, because we've done it ourselves. Like, you know, I've taken the quad bike down the beach and done, you know, you're just all over the place. You're allowed them on the beach. There's certain places you're not, but this place you can, like, you know.
I don't know if we've told you this, but when we first moved to New Zealand, we've got a quad bike. And when we first moved to New Zealand, we were renting a place down on the beach. And Brian, it was right on the beach. This was like, you know, 15 years ago, whatever. And Brian took his quad bike with the kids on the back and said, oh, I'm going to go and ride up and down the beach. And there was 2 women who lived in front of us, you know, lived next to us. And they were a little bit grumpy and, like, you know, obviously just locals, lived there all their life, fair enough. And they weren't having any of it. And they took Brian's picture. And the next week in the paper, can you imagine this? We've only just moved to New Zealand.
Trying to get residency.
Trying to make friends, trying to influence people, you know what it's like. And there on the front of the local rag is Brian's picture like this on the quad bike with the kids just like, and it said in big letters, lawbreaker.
It was just like, you know, I'm damaging the reef. And it's like I was saying before, the sand changes. I was just on sand. It wasn't at the reef or anything. It's just like, I mean, we were doing literally probably 2 miles an hour, like, you know.
So no, you can never say anything to anyone if they're doing anything.
Yeah.
I know, but sometimes I see you, Brian, you're like, oh, like this. You've got to remember that you did that, you know?
I did that.
No, you've got to remember that, though.
No, I do, but I'm just trying to think of another time when we knew there was an English policeman staying in a house down the road. Do you remember him?
Oh, he was a miserable
He was
sod.
there, wasn't he? Eh? And that young lad on the bike, and he'd come up, and we were walking down the beach, and he'd said, "Oh, do you want to go with the bike?" You know, it's just like, I'm just trying it out for, you know, a day or two, like, you know. And I went, "No, thanks, mate. Just enjoy yourself." And then next minute, the guy comes walking down the beach, and he's like having a go at the guy, and he'd call the police.
Who? The policeman?
The policeman, yeah.
Yeah.
because it was just like, it was like 50 meters over where you're allowed to take the bike.
Yeah.
And you just think, oh, come on.
Actually, this is a good time now to move on to our last point of Kiwi Summer.
Yes.
That you know that you're in the Kiwi Summer, right in the midst of it, when the locals start complaining about what the tourists are doing. And we know this for a fact because down our cafe, where we're, where we spend most of our time, down our local cafe, a guy came down the other day, he knows Bri, and he was talking to him, and he was not happy. He was not happy, rather.
Yeah, he wasn't. He's got a house just round the coast, round Poonihar way, or something like that, isn't it? Like,
And he was going on, wasn't he, about how the locals, they don't know how to behave.
The tourists had come to his
tourists
had come to his local beach, and he had to go down and tell them that this is not what the local Taranaki people do.
Yeah.
We look after everything and this, that and the other.
Oh, and I get it. I do get, apparently, down here, apparently at New Year in Okura.
Well, that was the talk of the cafe on New Year's Day,
It was the talk of the
wasn't it?
cafe because a load of kids descended on New Year's Eve, apparently, and just left litter all over.
200 or 300 people just turned up at the beach there and left lots of bottles and stuff.
That's not on. That's
the
not
talk
on.
of the town was like, they're probably going to have to get the fire brigade out to clean it up.
Yeah, but that's not on, is it?
It's not on, really, is it? Like,
No. But, you just think, it's a double-edged sword because, like, in the village, you've got shops and things that are going to thrive off tourism, and there's cafes down there, and tourists are going to bring things to the money, but money to the village rather.
Yeah.
And there are people, including ourselves, that would rent their house out as an Airbnb to make money out of it, you know? So it's like a kind of double-edged thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but the thing is nobody minds people having a good time. That's what this whole thing is that we're talking about. It's like everyone's up for having a good time, but it's just clean up after yourselves. Don't just leave it for someone else to do, because that's not the Kiwi way, is it? Like, or it's not the way they are in Taranaki.
But when that woman said to you, about the getting off the beach, you shouldn't be on the beach when you caught
She didn't tell me. I saw it in the paper.
She was waving her fist at you.
I thought she was just waving with a camera.
Waving, not drowning. So that's that. Oh, I knew we had a story to tell. I shouldn't have left it till the last minute. But if you're still here, you're in for a treat, because listen to this story. We've got a brilliant story to tell you. In fact, you might be able to cut it or edit it and put it in the thing. But anyway, So the other day, we have been spending most of it. We had a big chunk of time off over Christmas and New Year. We had like 3 weeks off to spend time with the family and just recoup and just rest. And we've been spending a lot of that time just packing up the camp chairs in the back of the car, getting our Kindle or our books, whatever, and the parasol, and going down to the local beach down there, finding a little grassy bit of on the side of the road.
On the side of the road, because the road is right on the beach, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
it doesn't. It's not like it sounds though. Don't be thinking road like.
No, it's just a tiny like country lane.
It's a country lane that hardly anything ever comes down past, and we set up, and it's just paradise. It's absolutely glorious, isn't it?
Yep.
And all along that strip of road, if you want to, if you're self-contained, and you've got a self-contained camper, you can freedom camp for 3 nights. They've put a sign up now, so every 30 days you can stay there for 3 nights.
Yep.
And so when we're down there, we always see campers coming and going, don't we, Brian? Yep. And we'd found this little perfect spot. We know where we like to go, just like a couple of old farts. We set up our thing, and the river's down in front of us.
Get your flask out.
Just the flask and the biscuits and all the stuff, and it's just like bliss, and it's just like, brilliant. And we're sitting there, and this old mouldy guy comes walking over to us. And he goes, hey guys, I'll try and do the accent. Sorry, I don't want to offend anyone, but hey guys, mind if I set up my camper here? And I said, it's quite good actually, Brian, wasn't it?
It's quite good, yeah, it's really good.
Oh, I'm getting better.
You're getting better than me. I wouldn't stand a chance.
And we were like, of course. Now, of course, mouldy people are super, super friendly. So we knew he pulls over like,
because he said he used to live here, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, and he was looking after a farm there and stuff like that. And he was giving us the rundown of what it was like 20 years ago.
Yeah, and he goes, I'm here with my grandson. And I said, that's nice. He went, I want to teach the boy what it was like to grow up around here when I was growing up. And we were like, I'm getting really good at this accent now, Brian, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll be on a film with
I'm going to be on the
Taika
telly soon.
Yeah.
And
Like a Waititi will be looking
I
for
might
you.
not be able to do a Kiwi accent, but I can certainly do this Māori accent. Yeah, because I want to, show him all the stuff and everything. And we're like, oh, that's such a lovely idea. What a lovely thing. And he went, yeah, yeah. So he calls over, hey, boy, come on. And he drives the camper. He drives his big camper over. So he parks up next to us just down, And the little kid, he's about 9 years old. He's in his swimming trunks and stuff. And he goes, go and play in the river. So the kid goes down in the river, and it's all like sandy and muddy down there because it's like the tide comes in and out.
Yeah, right in the river, yeah.
And kid we're watching all this. The kid just gets covered in mud,
head to toe in sand, black sand and mud and stuff.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, calling his papa, look what I'm doing. Oh, yeah, son, you're really good job. It's really good. Anyway, about an hour later, we see the kid walking up to the camper. Granddad's all setting out the camper, and he's got all the table out now, hasn't he?
Chairs and tables, and he's put the awning out and everything.
It just looks so cosy and so lovely. And me and Brian are like, oh, how nice, look, that's so good. That's what you need. Why doesn't everyone do that? Take their kids to the place they grew up and, old values and old ways. Anyway, we see the kid, and he starts running towards the camper. And the guy goes, stop right there, like this. And the kid stops. He goes, don't you dare, I've lost the accent now. Don't you dare come into my camper with those muddy feet. He said, get out and wash yourself in the river. And the kid's like, so he goes down and he washes himself in the river, and he's like, I'm okay to come in now. And he went, yeah. And he went, don't sit there, sit this side. And he's just like, sit on this chair here, keep it nice and tidy.
Don't think you're coming in there with those standy feet.
Yeah, and he's like giving the kid all these rules, don't sit on that side, make sure your feet are clean. No, don't go in yet, it's not ready yet. Well, and I just thought, oh God, it was so funny because what should have been this, just whatever goes.
Wonderful experience,
like bringing eels in and just throwing them all over, It was just, you could see Grandad had got this super tidy, lovely camper. Yeah. And he must have had an idea, I'll just show him what it used to be like. But the reality of it,
well, that's it, isn't it?
Do not think that kid is coming in my camper.
The thing the tide was fully out, so the sea was way too far away. So he was only playing in the river, and the river was only again this deep, and he had to get all this sand off him. It was
this kid! I just thought. Funny. And Brian kept saying, I wonder if that's what it was like when he was a youngster,
You could just do what he wanted when he was his age, Probably, 10 times dirtier. Yeah.
Anyway, that was our story. So I hope you enjoyed that. Just gives you an insight into the Kiwi summer, because I know that when you're thinking of moving to New Zealand, or you're from New Zealand and you think about home and things like that, and just the little things that you think, I love that. That's what makes a real Kiwi summer so special.
There's tons of things. And leave in the comments if you know what you do. I mean, there's things like ice creams and, berry farms and all sorts of stuff that you can go to and stuff. It's so many things to do and see. It really, really is. It's brilliant.
And one time, if you remind us, we'll tell you the story about that English guy, that policeman. It was flipping awful, wasn't it, Brian? Because we were forced to go and spend the afternoon with him because we were new and we didn't know anyone. Anyway, I won't tell you now, but we'll tell you next time. So can I just say before we go, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for watching the channel. Thank you for choosing to be with us out of all the billions of other people on YouTube. Thank you so much. We really, really appreciate you. And it's because of you we keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, and if you are watching, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet subscribed, because I can see from the back end of the channel, you can see there's people that return and watch this channel again and again, but you haven't subscribed. So just subscribe.
Yes.
And, it helps us to keep doing what we're doing.
Yes.
It really does.
So until next time, I will speak to you soon. Stay safe and be happy. And thank you for being with us.
Yeah, so take care. Kia kaha, stay strong, kiu, stay true, and we'll see you next time.
Okay.
See you now.
Bye.
Bye.
Speak to anyone who's made the move to New Zealand and you'll hear stories about how hard it was to pack the container and how they had to sell the house and it all fell through about 10 days before. But what they don't talk to you about is the very real fears that they felt before they made the decision to move to New Zealand. Never in that group of people have I ever heard anyone say, I moved to New Zealand, I got there, I was broke. In this week's episode, we're going to explore 3 very, very real and honest fears that are often what causes people to just cancel their plans altogether and not make the move to New Zealand. Let's jump on in and find out what those fears are and how we can get past them.